but it's kind of dark, so sorry about that. But yeah, with me today, and I'm super excited about it. For a couple of months, he was just someone on my screen, but finally live here, Alex. And yeah, he's the founder of the Unicorn platform. And today we're going to talk about an acquisition that Mars did. So Alex, could you maybe introduce yourself first and, do a bit of a background because everyone wants to know who you are.
Okay, Anya.
Cool.
Let's begin. Thanks everyone for being here today. I am also excited to be here with you.
Yay, and we're in Istanbul in such a cool location.
Yeah, Istanbul is great. And my name is Alex. I'm the founder of Unicorn platform, the landing page builder for startups. As you may know, it's a bootstrapped company. Unicorn platform is not funded by VC or by an angel or somebody else. It was self-funded from day one. And it has been 4 years since the project was born. And 1 month ago, it was acquired by Mars. So it's a big news. So I'm here today to talk about the details, to answer the questions you may have, to give everything as transparent, as open as I usually do. And I hope it will be exciting and useful for you, dear audience. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, as Alex already said, feel free to ask any questions. He's, as you know, if you're coming from the Unicorn network, he's super open about it. So he'll probably share everything and a bit more. Yeah, so since today we're going to talk about, getting acquired. So for many founders, getting acquired is a dream come true. And for many, it's, about getting lucky. So tell us a bit about the background. Is it about getting lucky, or how many years did it take for you to get lucky? And, maybe you've had other startups before.
It's a great question. It's a big one. It's a complex one.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all the startup journey is about getting lucky. You should be lucky to build a right tool for the right audience. You should be lucky to find investors or to find customers. You should be lucky to get talents near you, to hire proper people for your team. Luck is important, but luck is nothing if you don't work hard. So the fundamental thing is working hard, and luck will come later. That sounds nonsense, I suppose, not useful. Let's
okay.
deconstruct this question.
Yeah, so basically, have you ever thought about getting acquired?
Yeah, that's a good question. I like this one very much because it's rarely talked about.
Yeah.
When you start a startup, you're super excited. There are so many things to do. You have to build a product. You want an MVP. You want to market your product. The first thing you do is getting a domain name, a logotype, a website. So much to do. And the last thing you're thinking about is how it will end. Like you just started. Why do I should think about the end? That's not obvious. But I believe, as I told in the YouTube video I published recently, it's important to think about the exit. Because if you don't think about it, if you don't have a good preparation, which should be done from day one, the chances that your company will get acquired will become lower. And if you do something that no one wants to buy, you will not do an exit, and you will have to just quit without any benefit. So yeah, you should think about the acquisition from day one. And if you want to learn more about this, please watch my YouTube video, which I spent many hours on, and you will get a lot of information and details on how to prepare for exit.
Right, that's a big one. But again, let's maybe narrow down to your story, right? So how did it happen? What basically tell us behind the scenes, who approached whom? Mars. What Mars is it's also a startup, and it's been in a closed beta version for 4 years. It hasn't had a lot of visibility. So how did it happen that you even thought about getting acquired by Mars?
I wasn't thinking about getting acquired by Mars particularly,
Yeah.
but I was open for any incoming offers. And since I'm big fanatic of the open startup approach, when you transparently publish the numbers, the vision, the philosophy, you have the MRR, the churn, how many users did you get, all these things my company has, I used to publish month by month and translate my vision to the world, to let people, to let strangers get familiar with my mindset, with me, how I think, how I build. And it allows strangers, people from the outer world, get interested in my person, in the company I do, and they started to send offers. Hey, Alex, do you plan an exit? Do you want to talk? I'm a CEO of a company X, and I want to get access to the audience you have, or I want your technology. And people started to asking for negotiations. And one of them was John.
Okay, all right. So there have been other offers.
Yeah, there always have been a flow of offers. It was roughly from 1 to 3 emails per month.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. But I guess, you still had to make a decision, and ultimately you did. So why this decision? What, I don't know, what drew you there? And maybe your visions are aligned, what's the secret sauce here?
I was looking more for a partner rather than a company which will acquire, which will consume you and use you as a tool. I wanted to find somebody who thinks like me, who has the same philosophy, the same vision, and I wanted to just become a part of something bigger, not be used by it, but to join forces, to go together.
Right.
And that was the main factor why I decided to talk with John more and eventually go to Istanbul to meet him personally and eventually join Mars.
Yeah, become a proud Martian. Right. And I guess we're answering a question actually from Ivan. Yeah, first of all, congrats on the acquisition. And why did you decide to sell the business? What was the input? Did we answer that?
The decision, why you decided? Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you, Ivan. I have an article on this, but I haven't published it yet. It would be done maybe later today. But to talking shortly, why? Because running a company in a solo mode, it turned out to be super stressful and it was hard. At the beginning, you have many things to do, and it's very exciting. But years after years, these new things became something you know about, you're familiar with, and it's just turned into a routine. You do it, you do the same things every day. And to go out of this, you have to delegate. You have to be a good manager. But unfortunately, I'm a bad manager. I tried many times to delegate things, but for some reason, I'm bad at this. So I decided to find help, not to just leave the thing, just go away, but find someone from the outer world who can help me with this, my weakness. And Mars helped. So I decided to sell the business because I wasn't able to grow it by myself because I'm a bad manager.
Okay.
That's it. That's
cool. And on that note, I remember the last time we met, you were actually talking about not wanting to grow and like being very content, getting your, 10K per month and just being this super cool indie maker. What changed? Is it like this flywheel situation where everything's going to just skyrocket with Mars? What's going to change? And I guess a lot of people are wondering if anything changes for them, and if you are still going to be basically ruling the unicorn world, or are you leaving it?
I understood. Those are two questions. The first one is, will we continue to work only on the product?
Yeah.
Or will we also pay attention for the growth?
Yeah.
Our mission wasn't growing for unicorn platform, because I'm a big fanatic of product, of the thing we are making, and growth was not a goal for us, because it's just not something I was interested in personally. But it wasn't the growth. The bigger the unicorn platform's audience, the bigger it is just as it is. It doesn't add any value. Whether unicorn platform has 100 users or 1,000 users, it doesn't matter. It changes nothing. The unicorn platform as a product isn't changed. It's the same. But for Mars, it works in a different way, because Mars, not just an online tool, not just a SaaS, it's more like a network. The more people are in Mars, the better it is, the more powerful it is, and the better it is for each person who is inside the network. That's because Mars allows people to interconnect their applications. What you build in Mars can be partly used by someone else, and vice versa. That's why if there are two people, there is a set of tools which two people build. If there are 100 people in Mars, there are a set of tools which are built by 100. And each person of these 100 benefits from each other. And the more people there are, the more benefit for everybody. It's a win-win times 100. So yeah, I want Mars to be bigger, because it will make everyone happier and make Mars more powerful for every person.
Eventually.
So yeah, I would like to focus more on growth of unicorn platform as well, because it will help Mars to grow, and it will make people, the users of Mars, happier. That's that simple.
Right. But are you still focusing on like indie makers and people who would like to build their own product, or are you going like a more corporate road?
I was good at attracting indie makers, because I am an indie maker myself.
Makes sense.
So it's easy to me to speak with this audience, to understand them, to help them. And I want to continue to go this way and attract more young talents, makers from everybody, from every point of the world, not only the US, to unicorn platform, to Mars, because I believe these people will build the future. We will be the founders, which will be at this point, at the beginning, on something big. And those people are the most interesting, most exciting, the most fun people to follow, to be friends with. So I love being in this community, and I want to do it forever.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I first learned about the unicorn platform, I thought, wow, that's so cool, because every other landing page builder would just add features to eventually become super powerful. But you kind of went the other way and said, hey, focus on your product, and this is just a thing that is going to be there that you can set up in 5 minutes. And I thought, yeah, I mean, I'm the person that gets easily spooked by, I don't know how many detergents there are in the shop. So I'm definitely not a fan of like too many features on the website. So I really liked it. But the craziest thing about it was your community and the number of, I don't know, I don't want to say fans, but followers that you have. And I think that that's really important. And in this way, I think you were really focused on not only getting to know the buyer, but also to know their vision. So do you think it's really aligned with what Mars is going for? and what they're offering right now to indie makers or whatever founders there are?
I believe Mars has much more to offer for indie makers than Unicorn platform has. It's so big, it's hard to explain in 30 minutes. I'm just not completely familiar with Mars because I joined it only a few months ago,
right?
And I don't know everything, but as far as I know, Mars will give indie makers much more flexibility and power to begin a startup. There is a thing that each indie maker, we discussed this in Discord a few days ago.
Oh, right.
Each indie maker has a passion to build.
Yeah.
Like if you're a founder, you like to get your hands dirty and do some crazy coding nights, pump yourself with a bunch of caffeine tablets and caffeine pills and caffeine cups and code like crazy.
Are you planning to code today?
No, personally, I hate coding after being a coder for six years.
Okay. No, it's just Alex had like 6 cups of coffee just now.
Same as you. So do you plan to start being a coder?
No.
Okay, so we found out that coding and caffeine is not always related.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so we're talking about getting hands dirty and coding some stuff. Yeah, that sounds super cool. But sometimes you don't want to code, especially when you're a 3 or 4 times founder, you have another great idea and you're just tired of coding. And you're looking for some quick ways, some shortcuts to build this or that. And I like in Mars that you can both code on the low level if you want to. You can code only the things you want to code. For example, if you're a hardcore back-end programmer and you want to make a beautiful logic using some fancy modern language such as Rust or Dart, or I don't know what Go language, I don't know what you like. I like Python. You can do that. And if you hate front-end, you can use something, some micro apps from Mars, which give you front-end part.
Right.
If you like beautiful, sleek interfaces, you can focus on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and make those interfaces by yourself. But use the ready-to-use micro apps from Mars for backend part, for authentication, for database management, for logic. If you are super hardcore founder and you want to code everything, again, you can use Mars and code everything just like you do. Nothing will change for you except that the deployment process will be 100 times easier. If you are a completely no coder, if you don't know how to code at all, again, you can use Mars at this level. You can just forget programmer and make your startup with the no-code interface. It would be much less powerful, less customizable, but it will work. That's what I love in Mars, and that's what every indie maker will love in Mars too, I believe.
Cool. Oh, well, thank you, for walking us down that road. But I guess another question that I kind of skipped about the acquisition is, Unicorn platform. Well, at least now sounds a lot easier than Mars. So how do you have to change anything to get acquired, or are you going to change anything after the acquisition? And if yes, then what is it?
You mean in the product or in the company processes?
Well, let's cover everything.
To get Unicorn platform ready for the acquisition, I changed like nothing. I was thinking that I need to maybe polish some processes or make some business processes more transparent or more complex or more flexible. But I decided to just sell it as is because it's working as this. So why do I need to change anything? I only added some more documentation because there are a lot of processes like the support part, the technical part. It all needs to be described because if you're a founder, the new owner of your startup, of your company, wants to know what they buy. If you, for example, will go away, the new owner will need some documentation to rule the company. So that should be paid attention to. That's all the changes I had. I just did more documentation.
Oh wow! I mean, this is kind of I don't know, unspoken thing because usually when someone buys or acquires a company, you know, they are doing it, I don't know, to kill a product or like to change its course completely. But you kind of got your golden ticket and nothing is really changing.
As for what happens next, yeah, as I said, I didn't want to quit.
Yeah.
Many startup acquisition stories ended with I did an exit and I quit, like I stopped working on this company. But that's not for me. I want to continue working with Unicorn platform. It's not that I'm so obsessed with this particular tool. By Unicorn platform, I mean this big movement which I am a part of, the movement of independent makers and startup founders, the movement of simple UX for stuff on the internet, the movement of good websites and applications, the movement of startups, of making new stuff. And that's exactly what Mars does, but at a bigger scale. And I will continue working on the Unicorn platform and on Mars. And I will be just doing the same thing, but with the help of Mars.
Okay, I know that you've got more developers now.
Yes. Yes.
Is that exciting, or how is it going to change the operation?
Yeah, that changed everything because previously I have to code because Unicorn platform needed its updates.
Right.
We only had one full-time developer, and I had to code by myself, and it took a lot of energy and time. And fortunately, Mars gave us two more talented persons, programmers, who help us with the tool. And we have now a team of 3 developers on board, which continue ship new updates and bug fixes. This doesn't sound like huge, because 3 people is not. It's not
too many.
A crowd. Yeah, it's not 100 developers, but as you know, 2 females cannot born a baby in 4.5 months. It's not working in this way. 3 developers could be more productive and useful than 10 developers. It depends on how you motivate them and how you manage them and how talented they are. We have super motivated and talented people on board, and they ship new features much faster than I did. And I believe Unicorn platform will iterate much more faster than it does today. And it will only speed up.
Oh, great. Well, any other exciting news?
Regarding the tech team?
Anything. I mean, maybe you got someone else. I know that you're very, very picky about the fact that you've actually got a person responsible for your live chat. And this person actually has to be there, and you pride yourself in the fact that it's not a bot, it's a person that knows the platform inside out and is able to, you know, to help the community. And this is kind of cool. I don't know, I haven't heard of many startups doing that, because you know, usually you just go with like a simpler and obviously cheaper version of it. So what's that about?
We have a girl, her name is Sasha. She's a manager at Unicorn platform, and her main job is to reply live chat. That's it. That was the first hire I did to help me with live chat. I believe it's important to be accessible for people, and we will continue to be accessible in the future, just like we do it today. It's not just a person who replies the questions.
Right.
The job is not to reply a question. The job is to help. Sometimes people write to us with questions which are not related to Unicorn platform, and we consult them, for example, how to rank better on Google. We just use our own expertise or find some articles related to their question and support them. There were a case, was a case when one guy needed psychological support. He thought, hey, I just can't continue working on my startup. I don't like this. I'm so tired and stressed out. And I personally calmed him down and was his buddy to talk. Like he used this chat to get help, and I gave the help. So this is her job, to give the help. So she gets better and better every day in both Unicorn platform and in HTML, CSS, in the web technology. So she understands better what the goals of our users, what the needs behind Unicorn platform.
Right.
We also we use websites for SEO, for paid ads, for embedding, and Sasha gets better with this industry, the whole thing, to get our users understood better and help them better.
Oh, great.
Eventually, she turns into not just a Unicorn platform support manager, but she gradually turns into a web manager who knows a little bit of everything in the industry, both programming and marketing and like everything. So it's a good way for her to start her career.
Yeah.
Good first step.
Sounds good. But I remember, I guess it was today, earlier today, when you said, hey, I need some time to reply this tweet, because, you know, this could be a red flag. If I don't reply anymore, my community would think, you know, that something has really changed and I'm not going to be the same as before because of this acquisition.
Yes, exactly. I feel very connected to the community, to the people. And I'm not just afraid to not reply. I just want to reply. It's a need. I feel empathy for people who use my products. I feel responsibility because they trusted me and I don't want to abuse them. I want to them be happy. So it will go as it is forever until we became a, I don't know, million user company. That would be hard, I guess, to reply to each tweet. But so far, it's not so big numbers, like 2,000 followers. That's not too many to handle by my own. So
yeah, I mean,
let's continue. Your questions, guys, are always welcome in the DMs or.
Right, and right now as well. I mean, don't forget that we can answer all your questions there. And yeah, I guess the value of community has always been very strong for you. So I think I'd want to ask you about the product market fit. And I know you said, you know, it's been kind of a miraculous thing that you didn't really have to like work hard on it. But still, what was again the secret sauce here? Like, how did you find your product market fit? And again, we're able to build this community of people that trust you.
That's a great question, which I think everybody wants to know.
Yeah. And how much you got for the acquisition?
Yes. As for numbers, okay, I will share. It's not a secret.
Okay.
As for the product market fit, there are a lot of good information on the web how to make a good product market fit. I just read every book, every article, every podcast, every smart genius expert on the internet, and my head was full of noise, full of best practices, full of the right things to do. And after that, I just did the opposite.
Okay.
And it worked. So my advice would be, you can read and follow smart folks, but there may not be an answer you're looking for. It could be somewhere else. You never know. So it's maybe a good idea to step outside of the box and do something new. That could work.
Did your previous experience with the startups help here, or maybe you just went in totally different direction?
In the previous startups, we mostly, yeah, we were mostly doing what we wanted to do, not what the best practices are. But when I was working with my co-founders, we were younger, we had less experience, and we were more afraid to think out of the box, to do some step which is not recommended in the books. And the older I was getting, the more experience I had, the more brave, the more courage you have, and you eventually do more risky steps, more adventure steps, and that's where the success comes with experience.
Right. Okay. All right. But what would you recommend to, I don't know, a first-time founder, an indie maker that, I don't know, goes to the unicorn platform? What's their first step towards, I don't know, not a successful exit maybe just yet, but maybe getting the first customer?
The advice to get to the first customer?
Yeah. Do it, spill the beans.
That's a good question. There could be told so many advices, and each would be
wrong for somebody,
wrong or right for somebody, and each would be accepted as, oh wow, thank you, Alex, that was wise. Oh, smart idea, man. You really want me to advise? I'm not an expert.
Well, I don't know, whatever helped you or whatever you think helped you. Yeah, maybe share this.
Oh, okay. One thing that helped me really well is sharing my own experience with others.
Okay. How?
This habit allowed me to translate my experience to the world, and it's a good way to journal the thing you do, to log it. And it's good for you when you write an article on what you did. You start to understand this better. Your own experience became more structured, understand more. And that's good for you from the perspective of feedback. People can read what you did and give you some feedback.
Right.
Those can be useful or not, or just make you think more or think less about this or about that. That's what I like, sharing what I think. I think it's a good habit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea, and I love sharing whatever I think will work for in my job. But I've heard also an opinion that you share it, say, I don't know, Product Hunt or Indie Hackers, right? And people who hang out there are also mostly first-time founders or still founders of startups. And let's be honest, 99% of startups fail. So a lot of these people don't really have the expertise, and and it's just another opinion, but I just heard that maybe it's not the right audience to to try and pitch your idea to, or to try and share your practices with. So what's your take on this?
That's an interesting point. So unless you're an expert, you should not share, right?
No, unless you're sharing it with an expert, you should not share.
So it's not okay to share it with strangers or just not experts?
Yeah.
Regular people. Why?
I don't know. I just I heard it somewhere. I honestly forgot where, but yeah, I don't think it's a very popular opinion, but it exists. So what do you think?
I could imagine that. I think that anytime you share a piece of your thought, it's good for you because, as I said, it structures what you think.
Right.
Your own experience for you. You can just write a post and throw it away. It still will bring you some value.
Okay.
Some good. And sharing it with just regular people is also good because you never know what they can give you, because all people think in a different way. You can tell your ideas to your mom. She might not know nothing about startups, but she can give you a good perspective or an idea. Try to pitch your idea to a teenager, or to your granny, and you may be shocked what they will give you as a reply. So it's okay to share with anyone, not just experts.
Yeah, and it's exposure. I absolutely love that, people are trying to post absolutely everywhere, because somewhere you may get noticed, and people may try it, and you may have your first customer on one of these platforms. So how did you get your first customer? Was it someone you knew, or how did it come?
My very first customer was my friend.
Okay.
He is working in the startup web industry, so he needs websites, and he really needed Unicorn platform as a tool, and he paid. And it was easy to sell to him because he knew me in person. We worked together for some months, and he knows that I'm readable, I'm more or less professional, and it's okay to trust me. And that was my first customer. And there were more of friends who knew me and who were engaged in the startup industry. And we all needed websites. And they all heard that I made a tool, and they know me personally. We worked together or had a chat previously. And so my friends just bought Unicorn platform. It was like 10 first customers. They bought it not because they wanted to support me, but because we really needed a tool to work.
Okay.
That was that simple.
Awesome. All right. So you just evolved your network.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. So what, share with us what exactly is happening, like after the acquisition, what exactly is happening to the Unicorn platform? And is it any different to how you thought it would be, or how you envisioned it in the beginning? When you got acquired.
Understood.
So any regrets?
It was super hard to imagine what will happen,
right?
How it will happen, because no one talk about acquisition. It's a very uncommon topic. There are some stories on acquisitions on mass media, but those are usually big ones. Sold for X billion dollars. Instagram was acquired by 1.5 billion. And those stories are unique. Those are huge.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge. I'm just a folk in a t-shirt. I will never be there. So those stories will never be real for me. And what will be in reality, no one knows. So I decided not to expect anything, just to listen to the flow, how it will go, to talk to people who approach me. Some people were like businessmen. They were born in a suit and started to talk numbers from the first second. Give me tables, give me reports. What are your charts?
Right.
That was my language. Some were more about philosophy, about vision, like John.
Yeah.
He wasn't really interested in the numbers. He was interested in vision. He asked me, how you see the future? I told him about how I see the future. That's what he was interested in. And then after meeting with John, I understood that I want my buyer to be like John. I want to be acquired with a man who is passionate, who is not doing business because he's a businessman or businesswoman, but because they are passionate. And I was super happy to say yes from John. And when we were talking, I was very curious. He will allow me to work on Mars because I wanted to. And when he said yes, I really got happy. because that's the perfect scenario I could ever imagine.
Right.
If back then, 4 years ago, I sit down and imagined a perfect acquisition, that would be what happened with Mars. That would be a founder of a bigger company, a more talented, a more experienced founder like John Rush.
Okay.
A company which builds something like unicorn platform, but again at a bigger scale, something more powerful, which is built by some really hardcore talented programmers like John Rush himself and his partners, and something which goes the same way unicorn platform does, but goes with bigger momentum because there is a team behind it, and again the founder has more connections. So it would be a bigger unicorn platform, a more quality unicorn platform. Who will buy my unicorn platform, and what will happen exactly? So I guess that's a lot of luck in this, but again, that would not happen if I wasn't transparent from the day one, if I wasn't sending monthly reports, if I wasn't talking, speaking, and writing about my vision, my philosophy. John will never hear about it, and he will not be interested in me, and that would not happen. So yeah, I didn't have any image on how it will go. It just happened because I was transparent and open. That's that simple.
Right. So you think transparency actually works in favor of a founder. So you may not have, big sheets and databases, but you still have to, be open about your operations and what's going on, even if, your MRR, I don't know, is $400.
Well, yes, if you have passion about what you do, if you have a vision of where you're going, if you're a talented person, it doesn't really matter how big your MRR, 400 or 4,000. The distance between 400 and 4,000 and 40,000 is not that big. It's important what's in your head. So if you're cool, you will get attracted by cool people.
Right.
So just be cool and translate your vision. That's simple.
Well, since we started talking numbers, and I think a lot of people are thinking about that, and when they're planning their exits, there are a lot of zeros flying in their heads, and the more the better. So would you share the price for the acquisition, or
yeah,
believe it?
It wasn't like the focus during the negotiation with John. We were talking about our visions, how we align each other, because we wanted to go far together.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to work on unicorn platform under the hood of Mars for many years, for maybe 10 next years or 20. And what's more important is the fundamental things. Do we align each other? That's what we were talking about during my stay in his house, and we only agreed on numbers like 30 minutes before the taxi arrived.
Okay.
It was like I told John, hey, we just need to agree on the number because we need to agree on the number, and we did this. The amount I offered him is $800,000, and he agreed. It wasn't like a huge pile of cash arrived into my bank account. It was split by two. The first part, $400,000, would be paid as a Mars stocks. And since I'm a big fan of Mars, and I share the passion of John and the team, and passion, and that sounded great to me because I believe in this company. It's stocks, even if it's not printed yet, it's not like real. It's still a big value to me. And the other part would be paid in cash, but not instantly, but during the next few years.
Okay, you're fine with that. You're fine with that.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Fine, because I have money to live. I'm now a full-time employee in Mars, and I'm getting paid by Mars. It's not a huge salary, but it's nearly enough. Not enough, John. Not enough for living, but still okay. I have some savings, so I will not start.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a very interesting approach. But again, I think because you're more focused on the vision and like how you would grow together and eventually come to this amount of money in stocks or any other, that works for you. But I guess for a lot of people, it would not be an option. So thinking back maybe to all the offers you've had, have you ever had, I don't know, second thoughts? Would you maybe rather get a pile of money instead of getting, you know, into this whole thing?
Understood. I was never attracted by a pile of money because I don't know what to do with that. I could, I believe that I can easily lose it because of the inflation of the some crises, some COVID-20 maybe. I just don't know what to do with the money, so it's not as valuable as having the right partners near you, as working with the team you like to talk, you want to go with as don't. Yes. So I wanted it to happen like this, and it happened exactly like this. Again, I didn't have all this scenario in my head, but right now it's happened, and I couldn't imagine for something better.
Cool. Oh wow. I mean, I'm super impressed. I mean, again, like I said, for a lot of people it wouldn't be an option, and a lot of people would not get involved in something that they only have the vision of. Right, but it works for you, and I think it's a bit of a different approach to your project and to your life, maybe even. But yeah, let's come back to, you know, the community, and because you value the community and ultimately you want to grow Unicorn now, right? So how is this happening? Are you going to approach maybe new networks, new communities? How is it working?
As I said, I have more time on do some different things in Unicorn platform besides coding.
Yeah.
Because Mars team helps me with the coding part, and I want to pay more attention in growing the audience of Unicorn platform, because it will grow the audience of Mars and it will make Mars better. Yeah, that's what we thought about. And yeah, there are a few strategies I wanted to try. The first one is very obvious, and everyone keeps advising me this, is to approach incubators and accelerators, because those are communities of founders, of people who make new startups every day, maybe a little often. So they need landing pages, and I can give it to them. Unicorn platform already partnered with some startups, startup incubators in Norway.
And in Finland. I'll tell you later.
You found some
Finland and Norway, and also we're approaching a few in the US.
Yeah, that's cool. Imagine you are an incubator, you have 100 founders, and you need to tell them, hey, make a landing page before we continue. Unicorn platform would be the best option. It's really the best option in the market, because it will take you like 5 minutes to kickstart landing page. So if we approach such incubators and tell them, hey, this is your 3 months discount for new users, please advise Unicorn platform to your founders, and they gladly do it because it's a win-win for everybody. Incubators save time of their founders, the founders save time, and we get new users. That's win-win-win. And besides partnering with incubators and accelerators, there are also tons of ideas and I think that's too big topic to discuss today.
Yeah.
Every try, everything we will try, every new customer acquisition market channel, I will describe this in my YouTube channel, in my Twitter, so you will know how it works. And if something isn't working, you will also know this and learn from my experience. So that's just starting. Let's have a look how it goes.
Okay, so well, it sounds like, I don't know, a perfect situation for everybody, because it seems like even though Unicorn is about to change somehow, not dramatically, not in a way that, you know, becoming a corporate tool, but your approach, at least what you want to do, is not going to change. So you still want to be transparent and see how the community reacts to have their feedback.
Yes, we'll go the same way. We were always the community-driven product, and we will continue to ship the features that you are asking us to do. Just don't want to blow up the interface to make it too complex, so we don't implement everything. We sort it out. So I'm sorry for not making it all instantly. We write down each voice, each people who approaches us in any channel, Twitter, Instagram, live chat, email, every feature request, every voice is write down in a table, and each feature has a note of who we will need to notify after the feature is done. So if you ask for a feature and we make it, we will come back to you, maybe in a few months, maybe in a few years, and tell, hey, you asked for Google Sheet integration. We made it. Thanks for asking this, and enjoy. So we will continue making it in this way, because I believe our product is for people, not for not for people.
Yeah, right. It has a human face, your face, so it's definitely very cool. But yeah, I think this is a great way to finish this, because I think that was one of the biggest questions, right? You were getting questions about the acquisition even before you know, we knew that we're going to do this podcast. So this is very interesting. But yeah, and a lot of people were asking, you know, what it means for them, and if anything's going to change. So I guess you just put all the worries to rest.
Yeah, only good things ahead. I can't do even the same way I couldn't imagine the acquisition scenario in my head. I cannot imagine how great the future of Unicorn platform and Mars will be together, but I believe it will be amazing.
Cool. All right. Well, what a positive, you know, note to finish this. But yeah, thank you for listening. I know that there have been a few people here, so hopefully you're still here, and thank you so much for being with us. It was Alex from the Unicorn platform, and I'm still your growth and partnership person for Mars, and now a little bit for the Unicorn platform as well. Thank you for trusting me with it, Alex. Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
Great working with you. And yeah, see you next time. Next time we're talking with Nicola Telford, and we're going to talk about being a female founder and attracting investment as a female founder. A very important topic. So tune in. Bye.
Ciao.
Ow.